where we could go. So we are now recording.
Wonderful.
And we're good. We're 25 people in and just let the last couple in.
Okay, wonderful. And I'm sure we'll have some stragglers. It is a freezing night out there. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much for making the time to come to tonight's meeting. And it's been kind of a crazy week after a really long break. So I haven't seen most of you. So happy New Year, everyone. And thank you for being here. I would like to just welcome, we have some 8th grade students on. We're going to start with Dr. Kelly in a moment, and then a quick other update, and then they will give a presentation. So that is about it for me for now. I will give an update at the end of the meeting. So Dr. Kelly, we'd love to hear an update from you. And if Sarah, you have anything from Board of Ed, that would be great, but thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. It's good to see everyone back. Happy New Year. I hope everyone enjoyed the break. I don't know if I should say you're welcome or I'm sorry over these last couple of days and the decisions I've had to make. Please trust that they are complex decisions. And of course, ones I take very seriously, and I hope they didn't cause too much difficulty in your homes. So welcome back. I hope to not be disturbing you at 5:30 in the morning anytime soon. I wanted to just give you a brief update. We have a board meeting coming up this Thursday. That's tomorrow night. As you know, it streams live on our YouTube station. This is the time of year where we really start thinking seriously about next year's budget. Preliminary state aid numbers are in, and some of our driving numbers for the budget. And we are above the tax cap right now, which is not where we will be. We will be at our tax cap. But I am asking the board to consider a teacher retirement incentive. And that's a double-edged sword, of course. It will save the district money ultimately and help us with next year's budget. And inevitably, we're going to lose some legends. These are legends, of course, that are thinking about retiring within the next year or so. So the board will be considering that tomorrow night. And if they approve that, the deadline for notification will be February 1st. So we will know before the next board meeting in February. It will allow us plenty of time to celebrate people and also help us plan for next year. February 1st also allows us to get out into the market very early. And that's important because, of course, we want the best candidates out there. Also tomorrow night, I'm going to be asking the board to consider a first draft of next year's calendar, the 24-25 calendar. I've been in discussions with the teacher union because we do need to negotiate starting a little earlier for teachers so we can have our professional development days before students begin after Labor Day. And that will allow us to have a similar vacation schedule to what we've had this year. So stay tuned on that. And I think that's pretty much all I have. Another thank you to the PTA. We're so generous in donating to allow us to build our first outdoor classroom. We are almost complete with that. We're just waiting on the materials for the bench. Then the equipment and the fence can be taken away, and come the spring, we'll be able to add some nice landscaping. So again, thank you so much to the PTA and the foundation for their generosity. And I'm happy to keep an eye on the chat if there are any questions. Sarah, did you want to add anything?
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Sarah Kenny. To continue with the budget talks, we'd like to invite everyone to our first budget meeting, which is going to be next Saturday, the 27th at 9 a.m., where we'll start to really dive deep into next year's budget. So that is open for everyone to come, and it's going to be in the auditorium lobby at 9 a.m. And then the second thing is we'd like to thank so many of you who have written in on our some of our great administrators and teachers. We're going through the tenure process right now, and we've received such wonderful feedback from students and parents, and we're truly grateful for the time you've all spent, and we encourage you to continue to do so. There's still time, but that's it, and we hope to see many of you at our meeting tomorrow night. Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Oh, perfect timing. I'll let her have a moment to settle in. Hi, Alana. I know you just hopped on, and I was going to have you give your foundation update right now, if that is okay with you.
Yes, I'm so glad I popped on in this.
Literally right now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so much, Wendy. I have a few things to tell you all on behalf of the foundation. The foundation is kicking off its 2024 grant cycle now, and we're so eager to receive requests for grants that would benefit the school in the arts, athletics, health and wellness, or any academic discipline. Any student, parent, teacher, or administrator can apply for a grant. I didn't know this, that there was a chance you can apply with your child. If your child is a great idea, I think that's so cool. The two of you can get together and submit an application together. We do encourage student and parent applicants to speak first with your school principal for guidance on that. The submission deadline is March 1st, and I'm going to put more information in the chat when I'm finished. Also, the foundation is accepting nominations to fill open positions on its board of directors. It's such a rewarding experience. It's such an important role. We'd love for you to apply, or sometimes it's easier to propose someone you know. Candidates should be village residents who would work to raise funds, consider grant applications, and do other work to support the foundation. Parents of current students and graduates and alumni are all encouraged to apply. I get to sit on the foundation, the board of the foundation this year as a rep for the PTA, and I can tell you it's just such a rewarding experience and such a nice, impressive group of people. Finally, the community drive is ongoing, and it's the most critical source of funding. It makes our whole grants program possible. You may have gotten something in the mail. A donation of any size is so appreciated. Thanks so much if you've already made a donation. And I'm going to put all the information you need again in the chat. Thanks so much, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Alana. That is great. And definitely look for it in the chat. I know it's been sent out by the foundation. Joe put it in his weekly update last Friday, and I'm sure it will be again this Friday. So definitely think about it, and reach out to any foundation member if you have any questions. So that's great. Thank you very much. So the really meat and potatoes and most interesting part of our evening that we all love is when students come and do presentations with Mr. Mercora for us. And this evening we have two 8th graders. We have Logan Siegel and Izzy Gilmer, who are here to share with us about the Middle School Ambassadors Program. So Joe, I think you're going to say a little bit first to introduce them, but I just wanted to say thank you very much. I know that the 8th grade has an enormous amount of work this week. So I really appreciate you taking the time to share what you're working on in school with us.
Thank you so much, Wendy. And I want to thank everybody so much for giving us the opportunity here to speak with you tonight. It is my pleasure to introduce to you two incredible representatives of our Student Ambassadors Program and our student body, and that would be Logan Siegel and Izzy Gilmer. I feel like we've been working together for a number of years, yet we've only known each other since last year. but we've really tried very hard to take some student initiatives, some student-driven initiatives, and make them a part of our daily lives here at the school. And these guys, these two wonderful people here are great representatives of that. So I'm going to turn it over to them in a moment. And I just want to speak a little bit about what the Ambassadors Program is. We had reached a point where we were talking about what it was like to come to middle school. And this was, well, last year, what we started doing was a lot of surveys to our student body. And our students really spoke volumes. And that was last year's, now our current 9th graders and our current 8th graders and our current 7th graders. They spoke a lot about what it was like coming to middle school. And what we were really trying to get to the crux of is, what are things that we could do to make your middle school experience not only more beneficial to you on an academic sense, but on a personal sense, and to try to relieve some of the pressures that students may feel coming into middle school. And we got incredible feedback. We received such incredible feedback from the students, and it was so valuable that we started talking last year, in the middle end of last year, about putting a modified program together where we would go into our 5th grade classrooms and share a little bit about middle school, so that students would be able to kind of take some of that edge off about coming to middle school. And it was very student driven, and we had a dedicated group of about 20 students that took part in that last year. And Logan and Izzy were literally on the ground floor of that when it started, and the program is growing. And I'm going to turn it over to them. So Logan and Izzy, you take it away, and thank you.
All right, so what is the Ambassadors Program? The Ambassadors Program is comprised of experienced students helping younger students get ready for middle school, 7th and 8th graders showing leadership and compassion for our younger students. It's also an attempt on our part as a school to help students go to Bronxville Elementary School feel confident about coming to middle school. And finally, it takes the anxiety out of a big transition.
Let's talk about middle school. Middle school is what we consider to be the second big transition in a student's and parents' academic journey. Middle school is a time of tremendous growth. Students will grow physically and emotionally more in these 3 years than they will any other 3-year period of their lives. Middle school is a time of wonder, a time to develop good habits, and a time of new challenges. We consider middle school to be a bridge.
Middle school is the bridge between elementary school and high school. It's what sets our students up for success.
The challenges of a middle school transition. Education Week article by Destin Bendrith, dated April 2nd, 2023, speaks of some of these challenges. Some suggestions from the ambassadors to ease this transition involve making social connections. Our ambassadors work on making connections with 5th graders. We do this by speaking of middle school from student perspectives and easing tensions and concerns they may have.
We do the little things before they get here. We go back to elementary school and see our 5th grade teachers. We show the students everything they need to know about middle school. We give them tours in the middle school, and our teachers take time to say hello. We show them how to read a schedule. We give them their lock and show them how to use it. There's even a future award-winning video made on how to open a lock. Students keep their locks all summer so they can practice.
Our goals as ambassadors. Our goals as ambassadors are to let our incoming 6th graders see our middle school for what it truly is, a place where people care about each other, and a place where people are there for each other. This is what Bronxville Middle School is all about.
This has led to positive transitional change. The ambassador work has led to an earlier relationship beginning with our elementary school families. This allows the parent transition to also begin sooner. The ambassadors now take part in speaking at the new middle school parent orientation. This is an in-person meeting where parents meet with the ambassadors as well as staff. We have the opportunity to tour the building.
Timeline and evolution. The ambassador program is for 7th and 8th graders. In 2022 through 2023, we started working with a small but dedicated group of 7th and 8th graders. Classroom visits were towards the end of the school year. In late 2023 through 2024, 75 students have already signed up to be ambassadors. In the spring of 2024, we will have meetings with students about world languages and music offerings, lunch with fifth graders, and post-state tests. We will have classroom visits to show the middle school and to tour the middle school and teach kids how to use their locks. In the beginning of the coming school year, 2024-2025, we will assign each sixth grader a seventh grade buddy.
And I want to thank Izzy and Logan for just just being here to speak with us tonight. And what we always speak about is the Bronxville promise and how do we keep that promise. And I think what we're trying to build in our students and what you're seeing here just in these two representatives is truly living leadership and living that part of the promise as well by showing care and concern for new students that are coming to our school. So this is a program that is evolving. It's something that we're going to keep looking to make better every year. It's definitely better this year than it was last year, and it's due to the great student leadership that we now have driving this forward. So I want to thank them very much for being here with us tonight.
Yes, thank you both so much for being here and sharing and for investing your time and helping develop this program. Thank you so much. Great job. I'm sure you have homework that you would like to get back to, or maybe not, but I'm sure that you have other things that you would like to do this evening. So you are more than welcome to leave. And Dr. Kelly, I also forgot to mention, you are more than welcome to leave as well, because I know you have other meetings probably this evening.
Yes. Thank you so much, Wendy. And if anyone has any questions after the meeting, they know how to get me. Thank you.
Thank you. And one more quick thank you regarding the ambassador program to Joe, because I know that this work came out of a little bit of the sort of thinking about what it means to be a middle schooler and what the identity was of our middle school. But you've really made this program very rich and meaningful for the students. And I think that really makes it a very special thing about our middle school. And it is changing the way that all of the students think about middle school, which is great. So thank you very much for that as well.
Thanks, Wendy.
And then I know we now have your middle school update as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And appreciate the time you're giving us tonight. And again, just welcome back, everybody. It feels like it's been a long time since we've been here, and a lot's gone on in the middle. And as they say, pardon the pun, middle, we are definitely moving forward here in this school year. Again, we always go back to, our North Star, which is the Bronxville Promise. And this is what we're trying to do every single day, is encourage students to be leaders, engage the world, be innovators, and think critically. And as we always do at this meeting, on behalf of the entire middle school family, just Happy New Year. And we certainly wish that this will be a year filled with endless possibilities and happiness for our students and our families. Your children just continue to be amazing, and we just want to always say thank you for sharing them with us. And since we last met, which, believe it or not, was the month of October, we've had many new memories and a lot of happiness, and we've been busy. And just to kind of bring you up to speed a little bit as best I can, we've continued with our assemblies. We started the year off continuing what we consider our grade level assemblies, and we've done everything from focusing on our potentialist students, kind deeds, and we've done assemblies also on anti-hate. We've also moved to doing whole school assemblies this year as the topics have dictated. And those topics with our whole school have been around pretty much resilience and safety, which are common themes that we work with our parents on as well, so that there's a message going on at both the home and the school, and talking points for parents and students as well to have with each other. And we would be remiss not to thank the PTA for making many of these assemblies happen. And in particular, I want to just speak to an assembly that really, for me, and I'm over 20 years in this now, over 25 years in this now. And one of the best assemblies I went to in my career was really this year. And it was with Mr. Chris Waddell, and it was the name tags assembly. And Chris, if you know anything about him, is a retired Paralympic athlete. He tells his story about what it was like to be a professional skier and unfortunately suffer an accident. He was heading towards being a professional skier. had an accident and was left paralyzed from the waist down. And he goes around speaking of the story of resilience, and the 4 S's of resilience in particular that he speaks about is self, situation, support, and strategy. And when thinking of the self and when thinking of times when you are feeling down, don't be a victim. Think about yourself as a survivor. When you're in a tough situation, don't think of it as overwhelming, but thinking of it as a challenge that you can overcome. When you're looking for support, don't think of yourself as alone, but think of yourself as part of a team and accept support. And when coming up with a strategy in tough situations, don't be by yourself, but be one of many, because many strategies can lead you out of any problem that you have. Just some examples and models of that assembly and how it went with our PTA reps, and Mr. Waddell was truly an amazing presence to our school. And you always know an assembly is meaningful when we have the entire school in there of middle schoolers, and there's just stone cold silence because they're literally hanging on every word. We also always take the time to celebrate all of the amazing accomplishments of our students and just to celebrate them in any way we can. We have had our traditional over 50-year traditional trip to Williamsburg, Virginia with our 7th graders. And if you want to see a challenge, try getting an entire middle school class virtually to pose and stay still for a picture, and they did. And we had our chaperones jump in with them as well. And this is a picture that will always be up in my office because it was a very special trip in a lot of ways. Kids had a great time. We had a great time with them. Everything was aligned to the curriculum that they're working on. So it was just another example of a great trip that we had. I kept making reference to our 7th grade parents to a Mr. Rooney. Mr. Rooney is a retired tech ed teacher, and this was his 49th trip chaperoning Williamsburg. He's one of our retirees that comes back and helps us chaperone. And there's Mr. Rooney with his 49th group that he helped us out with in Williamsburg. So that was very special for us. Always looking towards our academic endeavors, but also always trying to have some fun every now and then. Our yearbook came to us, our yearbook committee came to us with some great ideas about having a college sweatshirt day. When we always speak about friendship and welcoming, they spoke about having Taylor Swift Day. And we've traditionally always had an ugly sweater day as we get close to the winter break. I will speak to, as a principal, Taylor Swift Day. When they first came to me at it, kind of scared me a little bit because I said, well, not everybody's a Taylor Swift fan. You know, what if, but they actually sold it on the way of, but we're always speaking about friendship and welcoming others. So we actually went out and bought every child a friendship bracelet from the school, and they really had a great time with it. And our boys, I was in particular impressed with. A lot of them came in with their Travis Kelce jerseys, so they're clearly watching these football games and making connections. But it was a really nice day. We had 0 discipline issues at all that day, and there was a lot of exchanging of friendship bracelets, which is what we like to see. Graham Windham is just a big shout out to our 7th grade advisory teachers and what they were able to do with that, and our parents and PTA that helped. But these are 7th grade advisory have been committed to helping and supporting Graham Windham, which is a nonprofit organization that strives to make an impact on the lives of children, youth, and families who have fallen on some hard times. So they collected hundreds of gifts and items that were needed and suggested to give, and they were delivered. But what was so impressive this year as well is, in addition to Graham Windham, this is something the PTA spoke about last year, was bringing the 8th grade in to something with service learning. Like, why should Graham Windham and that experience just be limited to, 7th grade? So the 8th grade moms and the PTA worked together to, bring in other belongings and needed items, and it was made to donations of charity. And it was just an incredible way to get our 7th and 8th graders involved. And what do we always learn from that? We always ask the kids to reflect on what did they learn from these experiences. And, the common themes is that you made a difference in the lives of others. We speak about the Bronxville Promise. Helping others is not only rewarding, but can also be a lot of fun. And we could do more to help others in need. And that a lot of kids did comment to that was a wonderful experience. We are very pleased as we continue our workshops on keeping kids safe, in particular in the cyber world. Janelle Burley Hoffman came last year, and we're coming back this year, and we have a parent workshop on January 23rd, and it's going to be a webinar, actually. We're combining our efforts with another local school district in the area to get a big group of parents to come. And for this one, I will tell you, if for any reason you can't make January 23rd at 7:00 p.m., Janelle has granted us special permission to record this. So we will have all of this information as well for you available if you can't make it, but we really would encourage people to make it. We'll be joining with the families from Eastchester Middle School, which is right down the road, and their principal and I have been working on this. We're actually hosting the event. Bronxville is hosting the event. Brad Ashley will be running the webinar, and we'll have a little panel of people working on it as well, and I'll be on that panel facilitating any questions that parents may have. To any of you that have not experienced Janelle, she speaks about tech healthy habits for parents and children, setting curfews every night, making sometimes where there's device free, setting timers to work on your own device, then taking screen breaks. Challenges, according to students, include overuse, distractions, physical symptoms, emotional symptoms. And then common questions that she'll ask that evening are, what do you think are the negative impacts of social media on young people? And why does technology sometimes feel addicting to students and families in particular? This happens to adults as well. We learned that tech healthy students have the ability to learn more about education and safety, to be humane and age appropriate, to grow in mindfulness and mentorship, and to impact character and leadership. These are just some of the many topics that Janelle will be covering that evening. So I'm just giving it a little promo prior to. We hope that a lot of you will be able to be there with us. And it's hard to believe, but as we move towards that, by the way, I'll be sending all that information out about the webinar and everybody to parents probably towards the end of this week. And it'll also be in my newsletter, just so it's on the top of your email as it gets closer. Janelle will also be spending some time with the kids. We'll have a whole school assembly that day as well. And thank you to the PTA for introducing us again to Janelle last year. And we're bringing her back this year so that the entire school could get this experience. We have a lot going on here as we actually, I shudder to say, start closing out the month of January. And it's been said in some cases, but Be Well is having a great conversation on kindness tomorrow at 8:45 in the elementary school NPR. We have 7th and 8th grade bowling trips coming up on January 25th and 26th. The year is actually half over in another week. The second market period will end on January 26th. Working together with the PTA on a showing of the movie Kiss the Ground at 7:00 p.m. at the Bronxville Picture House. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to our yearly dance with our 8th graders, Snowflake Ball, on Friday. I will be there to shamelessly take pictures for the yearbook and see the kids in all their glory that evening. And the Bronxville Foundation grant cycle has opened. Alana said it, Wendy said it. Please see the various communications that have been sent home. I had the pleasure last week of actually visiting another school district as part of a tri-states team, and just seeing all the things that happen in other school districts. It's always great to bring what you see there as great practice back to your own, but it's also great to see it's also the amazing things that we do here at Bronxville, and our foundation is really second to none. And please take advantage of the great work that they're doing and be a part of it. And just want to say thank you to them for all they've done to support our schools. And I know all the years that they've been in existence, but I've worked with them for 3 years, and it's been a true pleasure. And again, thank you, all of you, for all of your support. We're definitely in the winter months now. It's cold outside, but we'll keep each other warm inside, and we'll keep all the great things going on here at Bronxville Middle School. And certainly to any parents that ever have any concerns or questions, my email is open to you. I'm pretty good about getting back to you about anything individual with your children, but can't believe we're at the halfway point of the school year, and looking forward to the rest of the school year as well. And that's it, Wendy. That's all I have right now.
Wow, thank you so much, Joe. And if anyone has any questions, they can pop them in the chat while I am giving committee updates, and Joe can answer some of those if anybody has any questions. But that was a great update. And yes, it is shocking that it's almost halfway through this school year. And clearly lots more to come about what will be happening in the spring. But from a committee update standpoint, let's start with Michelle Horvers. Can you just give a quick update on the arts? You all did an amazing panel last week, and from parent perspective and students, thank you very much for that innovative new panel that everybody just raves about. So thank you for doing it.
Well, thank you for mentioning that. Good evening, all. I appreciate the opportunity to update you on what's happening in the arts in Bronxville. Looking back a bit, We had amazing concerts in December. Congratulations to the teachers and to the students who performed in the chorus, the band, and the orchestra concerts. As Wendy mentioned, the Arts Council kicked off 2024 with a new event. A huge thank you to everyone who participated and attended the Career in the Arts event last Thursday. It was a full house, standing room only. The students asked great questions of the panelists and engaged in discussion with them at the reception. There were amazing raffles. There was a resource guide that was provided to the students. A huge congratulations to all that worked on this event. It was well planned, it was well executed, and we really hope it's the first of many to come. I also have some updates from your music teachers. Miss Simpson is having an interest meeting for the middle school musical on Thursday, January 18th at lunchtime in the chorus room. That is tomorrow. All actors and tech, that includes build, art team, costumes, etc., should plan on attending. She will not be announcing the show. I repeat, she will not be announcing the show because she wants to gauge the interest before finalizing her decision. Also from Ms. Simpson, any middle school student interested in singing in choristers, treble voices for the second semester should reach out to her. This group meets on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 5:30. An audition will be required. Mrs. Karkula would like to remind parents of band students on some dates for the spring. The middle school and high school solo recital is on Tuesday, April 30th, and the middle school spring band concert is on Tuesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. The concert date is a change from what is printed in your school calendar, so please mark your calendars. Next up, the high school musical is fast approaching. Curtains will be on February 8th at 5 p.m., February 9th and 10th at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. Lastly, we have a big event for the Arts Council. Spring into the Arts is scheduled for Monday, March 4th through March 17th. Students' artwork will be displayed in our village shops. There will be an art stroll. There will be a scavenger hunt for your younger children to enjoy. On the evening of March 4th, there will be an open mic night at the Bronxville Picture House, which is hosted by the High School Arts Society. So we hope you will attend and celebrate our student artists. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And thank you for all the hard work of the Arts Council. It's wonderful. Next, I'm just going to give a couple updates. As many of you have probably seen, Basque Middle School registration is open. Classes start on Monday, the 29th. So if in fact you are interested in signing up your child and have not yet done that, please visit the Bold website so you can register them for one of the amazing offerings this winter. As Joe mentioned earlier, there is the Kindness and Belonging Coffee tomorrow, which is a few different committees are hosting it, Be Well, Bold, and DEI, and that's at 8:45 in the NPR. The DEI committee is also working on a few events in the upcoming months around Lunar New Year and Black History Month. So please keep your eyes out for any information about those events. And then Be Well, hold on, let me get my updates. So in addition to the Kindness and Belonging Coffee tomorrow morning, Be Well had a book discussion last week with Bold, and it was The Gift of Failure by Jessica Leahy. They had a great discussion around the book, including parenting through the ages and how to foment a sense of self-sufficiency in our kids. For those people who weren't able to attend, there's a really great podcast that Jessica participated in a few years ago, which gives a very wonderful synopsis of a lot of the key points in The Gift of Failure, which is a big challenge for a lot of us to let our children fail, but we know it's really important to do that. So I encourage you to listen to that if you were not able to attend And you can also obviously buy her book and read it on your own. And then on April 9th in the NPR, we are, the Be Well Committee is so excited to be having Dr. Eliza Pressman. Some of you may know her from her podcast, Raising Good Humans. She has also recently written a book that is coming out this spring called The 5 Principles of Parenting. It is slightly more focused on elementary and sort of lower middle school, but I think a lot of the information that she gives is also applicable to our 8th, 9th, and 10th graders. So definitely please keep your eye out for that information. And then there's going to be a Study Habits Coffee coming up this spring with the author of Outsmart Your Brain, and more information. This will be middle school and high school centered. So please keep your eye open for that from Be Well. So we've had amazing offerings and programs that Be Well has organized for us as parents this year. So thank you to that committee. And for BOLD, there is also going to be on March 3rd, there is a BOLD book club, and the book is called The Power of Showing Up. And there will be information coming out about that. There is also going to be a BOLD social on February 29th. You'll only get to do that once every 7 years, as it's a leap year. So definitely try and get out for that on February 29th. And then Dr. Hallowell will be joining us again to discuss children with attention deficit on April 18th. And we will have another spring workshop around executive functioning by the author of Smart But Scattered. And that will also be at the end of April, April 25th. All of these things, we will send out a lengthy calendar of all the exciting programs coming up. But there's a lot. And then one more quick committee update or two, but is the Sustainability Committee. First of all, thank you to all of the people who recently brought in holiday lights to be recycled. They got 2 full grocery carts that they were able to recycle. So thank you for anyone who participated. And many of you already know this, but the Sustainability Committee is currently collecting Legos, and those bricks will be donated back to Lego, who take them back and they either recycle them or they will reuse them. So those are being collected at the Canopy, at Meadow, and Flagpole until Friday. Once the drive is over, all of those pieces will need to be taken apart, each individual brick, which is quite a task. So the Middle School Character and Community Committee is going to be working with the Sustainability Committee to get some volunteers. So if your children love Lego, I'm sure they might love taking them apart. And the Sustainability Committee has already received a lot of Lego bricks. So if you happen to have some sitting around your house that your middle schooler no longer uses, this is a great opportunity to get them recycled or reused. And the Character and Community Committee is going to be having, we will send out a Sign Up Genius, but we will also have students take the initiative to sign themselves up to volunteer during advisory. We're going to test this out as well so that students have some voice and choice in their own service learning as well. And lastly, the Sustainability Committee, as Joe already mentioned, on January 30th is hosting the Kiss the Ground movie, which is about 45 minutes. And I believe there's going to be a 15-minute conversation after. It's open to middle schoolers, high schoolers, parents, students, community members connected to the school. It's free. Middle school students will receive science extra credit for attending. And it's going to be a really wonderful evening. It's a very powerful documentary. So please put that on your calendar and support the Sustainability Committee. And lastly, I have some quick thank yous because the grade chairs did an incredible job supporting the students in their service opportunities this past December and November. So thank you so much. They did an amazing job helping with, any kind of holiday celebration that the advisories wanted to do. So I really appreciate their efforts. Thank you to the 8th grade chairs who've been putting together the snowflake ball and making sure that that is all organized for 8th grade parents on the call. If you have not yet received, got your ticket for your student, that can be purchased by Friday on Membership Toolkit or email one of the grade chairs. And you will need to sign a waiver to make sure that your child is, allowed to go. Other than that, thank you to Joe, and thank you for organizing the 8th grade ambassadors to come this evening. I don't believe I have anything else. Sorry, I feel like that was a lot of information very quickly. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to email me. But again, thank you to everyone for participating tonight. Thank you so much to the 8th graders. Logan, I still see you're on, so thank you very much. I'm not sure if Izzy's still on, but we really appreciate you participating and sharing the great work of the ambassador program with us. And thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.